Evan, and this is
Megan.
And we're talking about global warming today. So, my first question for you is, name 3 companies that make and sell gas.
Shellco.
Shell.
Shell.
BP.
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 Exxon.
Exxon.
ExxonMobil.
Exxon.
Exxon and
ExxonMobil.
Do you believe in global warming is being caused by human intervention?
I feel that it definitely hasn't helped.
Is it caused by human interaction? Is it?
absolutely it's caused by human activity, and it's probably the most serious problem that we face today.
Oh, it's an undeniable fact.
No hoax.
No hoax.
Now, can you name any companies that sell renewable energy?
No, I can't.
No, because I don't know them.
Not really.
You know what? Not off the top of my head. I certainly cannot.
No, I couldn't. Not offhand.
Talking global warming today. So, global warming, fact or fiction?
I think fiction, honestly.
Fiction and I have learned today is atrocious. The people don't know how and where to buy renewable energy that's clean, energy that can save our planet. This really shows big oil has a bigger grasp on America than we really thought.
That's true. As you saw in the videos, every person could name at least 3 gas and oil companies, but not a single one could name a renewable energy resource.
We'll be very interested to see what Scott Denning has to say about this.
Is Scott Denning. I'm a professor of atmospheric science at Colorado State University.
Mr. Denning, what is your official scientific position on global warming?
Heat in minus heat out equals change of heat. So just the same physics as if you had a rock and you shined a heat lamp on it, that would warm it up. CO2 molecules in the atmosphere slow down the loss of heat from the planet. So heat in comes in from the sun, heat out goes back out in invisible infrared rays. If you change either of those 2 things, either the heat in from the sun or the heat out from the earth, that'll change the temperature. So we know for sure CO2 molecules absorb heat radiation, re-radiate it. Therefore, you add a whole bunch of CO2 molecules to the atmosphere, it slows down the heat out, that'll warm up the earth. That's my official position.
And how do humans make an impact in this situation?
So people don't actually warm the climate. Heat warms the climate. Like I said, heat in minus heat out equals change of heat. But what people do is burn stuff made out of carbon. So that would be coal, oil, and natural gas. And we do that, of course, because there's energy in those fuels. We get the energy, we use the energy. But as a byproduct, the carbon that's in, say, coal or oil gets oxidized to CO2, and those CO2 molecules wind up in the atmosphere. People don't warm the climate, heat warms the climate, but people burn stuff made of carbon that absorbs heat. So yeah, people indirectly are warming the climate.
So why do you think that people are tending to scoff at the idea of a politicized topic?
People feel very strongly about politics. People have political opinions, believe deeply in their positions.
What are the beliefs and repercussions that arrive when America invests in renewable energy sources?
The benefits of renewable energy are we like to use energy. We like energy because it lets us have light and heat and air conditioning and transportation and nice buildings and computers and phones and all the great stuff that we've got. That's why we like energy. It would be great if we could have all that energy to run our lives and to have a productive economy and a good standard of living without putting heat-trapping molecules in the atmosphere. So the benefits of investing in clean energy are that we get the energy without the CO2. Hooray!
America's leap result in change across the world that could possibly save our children?
Yes! That was easy. Everybody making that leap. It's not good enough for just the U.S. to make that leap.
The Wall Street Journal and NPR have disbanded their ecologist and columnists.
Huh.
Why? Do you feel that people in Wall Street are trying to suppress you and your research?
No, I don't feel that. I don't do research for the media.
In our class, we've heard a lot of talk about activists, like how the IPCC isn't just scientists; it's activists, scientific activists. So should we be condemning the findings of activists just because they have the title activist?
Let me say I completely disagree with the characterization. IPCC maybe has been misunderstood in the public mind. They don't actually do the research. They're reporting to the governments of the world on what has been published in, peer-reviewed journals over the last 5 years. There's thousands of times more voters than there are climate scientists. We're like, 0.01% of the population or something like that. We don't get extra votes. We don't get to tell people what to do, but we try to do our jobs and learn how the world works and explain it to people. But it's really up to everybody. Everybody gets a voice in deciding what to do about climate change.
But does it anger you when you see people in Capitol Hill and they just, without any proof or evidence, they just spew this rhetoric that completely goes against what you've found?
Yeah, that's frustrating. I wouldn't say they all do that, though.
No. We know the U.S. and all countries around the world can make an impact by changing the way they use fossil fuels and limiting how much they use and changing to renewable resources to generate energy. Will it happen?
Yeah, I think it will. I think it'll happen. I think it will happen in your lifetime.
The question is, will it happen in time? Can we stop the sheer amount of CO2 being pumped?
I sure hope so. For your sake and for your kids' sake, I really hope so. In just the last 6 years, the price of solar panels has gone down 80%. Amazing. And at that kind of rate of cost savings, it's going to be hard to make a living selling coal in some
Scott Denning
years.
was a realist in the sense that he knew that climate change was happening right now, yet an optimist who believed that there was change. It's possible. Renewable energy
In order
is
to
the
rid
only
ourselves
way.
of our dependence on foreign oil, we need to subsidize local renewable energy companies like Namaste Solar or Solar City. We need to create independence for our nation. We cannot be dependent on foreign oil any longer. We need to subsidize local solar and wind renewable energy resources so we can be an independent country.
It's time to talk one-on-one with the denier. My team and I admit, and so does every scientist, that Earth goes through natural cycles that change the temperature. These are called the Milankovitch cycles: obliquity, eccentricity, and precession. And they do change the temperature, but the problem is they change it on such a long period, long scale. It takes thousands and thousands of years for these changes to occur. But what we've seen recently is a dramatic spike in temperature, and it's something that can't really be attributed to these cycles, because it's just not how they work. Just because Earth goes through these cycles doesn't mean humans can't change our environment. We can see it. You look over the city and you can see pollution happening. You can see the smog in Hong Kong. You can see it here in Denver. It's time we address these problems instead of just attributing it to the Milankovitch cycles.
Global warming is real. It's a fact, and the evidence shows it. 9.2 billion metric tons of CO2 are being inputted into the atmosphere every single year. 80% of that CO2 has a direct correlation with big oil companies. So why can't they fix it? Now, let me explain what this does. As the CO2 is being inputted into the atmosphere, it allows heat to come in at a normal rate. Let me explain. It does not change that. But once the heat comes in, it actually traps the heat in the atmosphere, causing the Earth to warm, meaning temperatures will rise. Climate change. Fact.
We've heard the facts. We've spoken with experts. And now we know. It's happening right now. Global warming is happening. And sure, there may be cycles that alter Earth's climate, but humans aren't helping whatsoever.
Just because our planet does go through heating and cooling periods does not mean that humans cannot make an impact. It is the truth, and we call for change. If you do not call for change, then you can tell that to your great-grandchildren when they are all equally extinct.
I'm Blake Jankowski.
I'm Clarice Reiner.
I'm Ben Corrado.
I'm Gavin Jones.
And I'm Evan Roshak. And from all of us here on this investigative team, we sign off.